Let's talk orgasms. I feel like we don't talk about orgasms enough. Hey there, guys, and welcome to this, the first ever episode of VIVE Group's podcast. My name's Tye and Wykie. I'm the owner, founder, CEO, and head procrastinator of VIVE Group. And with me today, as always, is Wykie Etzebeth, Australia, New Zealand director of VIVE Group, owner of ANFIT, owner of projects, all-around rusty gentleman. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great today. Thanks, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We've had a big day. It's been content city.
Friday's my favorite day. We pretty much save the fun stuff for Friday. It's filming, podcasting, all the good stuff. So yeah,
it's been a good day, man. Dude, let's talk about this podcast. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about it for years. We've finally got the gear and half an idea of what we want to do. But for everyone listening or watching, I want to make sure that we all know what to expect. So what should people expect from this podcast?
Look, we put a lot of content out, a lot of structured kind of business advice-y type of content. And I think for us, this podcast is a way of going the opposite direction, something a bit more casual, relaxed, just conversational, not too structured, not too serious. Try and give you guys a bit more of an insight to the behind the scenes and who we are as people, and just have some fun. Yeah,
just talking shit.
Just talk shit and have some fun.
Basically. Yeah. So if you came looking for detailed step-by-step instructions on retention programs, probably not the place. We've got videos for that. So having said that, let's get straight into it. I want to talk about this week because this week's been pretty fucking insane for you. What's been happening, buddy? It's
probably been the craziest week of my business career, and that I literally was about to close my gym down this week, not by choice, by force, really. We have been in the same building for 8 years, and we found out about 2 years ago that we will have to move in the near future. They basically bulldozing the building at some stage to build a rail link, a train rail link underneath the building, and so that was happening kind of towards the end of this year, start of next year. So we started looking for a building, but I got a shock email midweek last week. So like Wednesday last week, got an email saying, hey, there's been a change of plans. We need you out by the 30th of April. So I literally had a month. I had 30 days to get my stuff sorted. And obviously you need some time. If you are gonna close a gym down, you need some time to give your members notice, to sell your gear and all that kind of stuff. So I basically gave myself an ultimatum. I said if I don't find a building and sign a lease by Friday this week, that I'd start planning the only other option, which is to close down. So yeah, and then we found a building just last night. I signed a lease last night, one day from the date that I gave myself. So yeah, massive relief. It was a stressful week. Yeah,
I love it, man. Yeah. I feel like this week is everything that it means to be a business owner. Yeah, it's so, when things are going good, anyone can run a fucking business. It's not hard. It's when the shit hits the fan and you genuinely had an out. You genuinely could have quit. Like, you could have quit, you could have packed it in, and you could have blamed anyone else but you, and no one would have doubted you. You could have gone the weak route immediately, right? The spider route. And you didn't, which was awesome. What I want to talk about most of all is how you did it. Because we talk a lot about the spider versus the wolf, and the spider being the passive, relying on luck and circumstance, sit back with your hands in your pockets and hope something good happens. If you had have done that, then we'd be planning to sell the equipment on Facebook for cheap. It would have been a bad outcome. So what was it that you did, the wolf kind of mentality that you did to get the result?
Yeah, so I think it's amazing what a timeline, a deadline can do for you, because we have been looking for a building for the last kind of 2 years, really. But yeah, having a 1 week time frame to make it happen, it's amazing how you can just get your shit together and make it work. But obviously we first of all just contacted every agent in town to kind of keep an eye out for us and help us. So we got all the pros on the ground to do that. But then I thought, we've got this great community of members that love us and want to help us and would hate to see the gym close down. I was like, why not, instead of waiting and then let them know what the outcome is, why not involve them in the story from day dot and say, good, look guys, this is what's happened. We'd love your help. If you have any family or friends or contacts that can, that has a building that could be appropriate, let me know. I just thought if we put the net out as wide as possible, involve their networks, maybe there might be a cool outcome. And sure enough, I got 4 emails from members saying, hey, I know this building or I know this person. And the place we signed came through a member that recommended it. So yeah, that was a good move.
Beautiful. Yeah. And because it's one of the loneliest part of being a box owner is feeling like everything's on you. Especially when shit hits the fan like this, and realizing that you're not the only one invested in the future of this business. You've got a community around you that is actually invested. So the idea to bring in the team, to bring in the members on this is spot on. but the execution of it as well, I think, was done well. You know, again, the greatest idea executed poorly is just shitty.
Yeah.
It's a shitty idea still, you know. So talk to me about how you communicated it. You know, you could have just sent a bulk email.
Yeah, sure.
Lazy, easy. You could have put up just a simple, you know, quick post, a freak out post in the group. Talk to me about how you actually did it, and then also the message, I think, is important, like how you communicated it, the vibe you put out.
Yeah, so the last thing I wanted to do was create panic and stress from members. So they all know that we've been looking for a building. So I just said, look, guys, as you all know, we've been looking for a new home for Anfit. You know, this happened, so we got to find a place a bit sooner than we thought. And just basically, I basically talked about how excited we were about moving to a new space and making some changes that we've dreamt about forever, and just put a really positive spin on it. So never once did I kind of talk about the possibility of us having to close down, even though that was a very real thing that could happen literally the week after. I just stuck to the fact that we were excited to move. You know, it's going to be a great thing, and I kept it really short and simple. I didn't go on too long. But yeah, I guess I just assumed that we are going to find a place and it's going to be amazing, and that's the vibe I brought across. So from what I could hear, because obviously I'm not in New Zealand where the gym is, the staff that are there reckons that there was no one was panicking. Everyone was quite excited about it after hearing the message. So yeah.
And I think that's an important thing. A lot of people won't know your story and who you are. For those who don't know, Wykie's gym is in Auckland in New Zealand, and he lives here on the Gold Coast in Australia. And so this whole thing had to be dealt with from, you know, slightly different time zones, but from a different country. You had to have other people liaising there for you, looking at the buildings for you. So you still haven't seen the building.
I haven't seen the building.
You know what I mean? You're going in on faith, which is fine because you can work. Again, I think what you've seen is that with a timeline, with a limitation, it's amazing what you can achieve. And regardless of how the building turns out when you get there, that's just another limitation that, you know, if anything, helps you make those decisions, you know, pushes you in that kind of decision-making process. So
yeah, and I mean, I've decided a long time ago that I'm not someone who's going to play it safe and live life in a safe manner. I like taking risks. You know, it excites me, and it's, you know, we live once, so, you know, sure, there's a lot of risk involved in what I've done here, but at the same time, I've got faith in my team that have looked at the places, and I like that element of risk, and I'm sure it's going to pay off for us.
Yeah, man. I love it's situations like this as well that make me think. When you've got friends who, you know, have a job and work a 9 to 5, which is cool. That's their life. That's what they want to do. But when they compare, you know, their day-to-day job to running a business, you know, like, oh, I worked 50 hours this week as well. You know, it's different. You know, we've got slightly bigger fish to fry sometimes.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Me too. Pumped.
I was going to buy some of your rolls for cheap if you did close down, but you know, whatever.
Bad person, though.
I'll just hang out and wait till next time. All right. So one more thing that we want to do, guys. Again, we're just testing out stuff for this podcast. I want to know your feedback, what you like, what you don't like. We do 5-question Friday. Obviously, one thing I want to add to this is the 6th question. So I answer 5-question Friday. What I want to do here is throw one more question at Wykie. Today it's actually 2 questions because there were just 2 of them that were too good not to throw to him. So let's have a look here. First question was, the coaches that you trained up to be head coaches left and went to direct competition. What do you do? Oh, dun, dun, dun. Evil coaches.
Yeah, evil coaches. No, this actually happened to me. Not that the coach left. The coach was always keen to have their own gym, and I knew about that. So it wasn't necessarily a surprise, but I have had a head coach leave and buy another gym nearby us. What do I do? Nothing.
What are you going to do?
Nothing. Like, I just focus on what I'm doing and keep doing it. Like,
street fight?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, what can you do? You know, like, I had this conversation with a gym owner this week, actually. I was like, man, all you can do is support them, like, and wish them the best. You know, like, there's no point in approaching it any other way. You know, like, no one wins if there's a negative approach to it, you know. So I think we've said this many times, but there's enough people in your town, your city, I don't care how small it is, for another 5 CrossFit gyms to open up on your street, and for you guys all to be successful and have enough members. You know, there's enough humans around us to all be successful. So I do nothing, man. I try and, you know, give my blessing, support them, and just keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah,
100%.
I don't know.
I think like if you can do something, it's build a time machine, go back in time, and see if there was anything you could do to stop. Like my wife's filed for divorce. How do I get her to stay? Well, you know, the damage is done. Because one of two things has happened here, and this is really important to appreciate. Either A, they leave because they weren't happy, or B, they leave because they were always going to leave. That was owning their own gym was always part of their story. You know what I mean? For the people who aren't happy, well, look, you can't do anything now. All you can do is try and learn from them, try and have an honest conversation with them, ask what would have kept them around. You know, didn't they feel part of the community? Didn't they feel respected as part of the team? Was I not a good leader to them? You know, why'd they leave? You know, instead of just vilifying them and calling them, you know, fucking pointy-haired devil, you know, like that doesn't help. You know, and also it doesn't help you in the future take responsibility. Because, you know, I hear this where, you know, oh, we've had 6 coaches do this over the last couple of years. And you're like, oh, well, you're a shitty leader. You know what I mean? That's like if you say, oh, I've had 6 girlfriends break up with me over the last year, you know, they all just must be bitches. You know, no, well, you know, the common trait there is you, you know. But on the other end, what actually maddens me more is like the situation that you're in. Like, I think it's inevitable that head coach was always going to move towards that decision, right? That was just part of his journey. We were part of his journey. Cool, be happy we were part of his journey. But he always wanted to be an owner. And it turns into this real selfish thing for some box owners where they're like, no, only I get to live my dream. Fuck them. You know, like we acknowledge pretty regularly that this whole like living your best life as a box owner and getting to do what you love every day and hopefully make money from it, that's amazing, but it's exclusive to me. Yeah. I'm the end of that train. I'm the last person, at least from my community, that's allowed to do this. If someone else wants to do that, who the fuck are we to say like, no, you can't do that? You know, that drives me nuts more than anything. Yeah,
and I think the reason it hurts so much for a lot of people is because often that person who leaves is the person they have depended on for so long. That's the one kind of pillar that keeps their business, you know, up and running. And so often when that person leaves, the owner has to pick up a whole lot of slack now that was previously carried by that one individual. And I think it's a real good lesson to learn here. We talk about, you know, the table with many legs approach. You know, if you can have a bunch of people taking responsibility for the happenings of the gym every day, that it doesn't revolve around one person. Like if there's one person in your gym that if they leave today, if you're screwed, then you should probably, you know, look at training the other staff up to be able to do some of the stuff that person's doing, you know.
That person's a liability to your business.
Yeah.
As much as they're helping you today, they're a fucking ticking time bomb.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to make sure that although you want leaders in your community, and I think there's real value in having a head coach, you also want some senior staff that you are confident can just take on the roles if that person disappeared. So I think that was definitely the case for us. Also, this person, I knew all along that they wanted to own a gym. In fact, they wanted to own my gym, and we just couldn't make that work, unfortunately. But I always knew, like he told me very early on that was his goal, his plan. And so I think if you're a good leader and you're having regular conversations about your staff's goals and dreams and letting them communicate those to you, then ideally you should be the first person to find out that, hey, I really want to do this thing. You know, you shouldn't be the last person to find out on a Monday morning when they've left already, you know. So, yeah. Yeah,
if they're not willing to have that conversation, then you got to look at yourself.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
And I've been in this position. I know in the past that I was the kind of leader, well, was barely a leader. I was the kind of boss that, you know, shit like this would happen without me knowing. And it's because people were scared to talk to me about it. They didn't want to talk to me about it because I wouldn't react well to it. You know, I wasn't a good leader. I'd blow up and carry on like a fucking idiot. And so if things are happening, look, I think we can make the base assumption that your coaches are good people. If they weren't, then you're an idiot for hiring them in the first place, right? Exactly. So we know, we can't just say, oh, they were a good person then, but not now. You know, that's not how it works. We can assume that they're good people. So based on that, if a good person does something like that, if they pull a sneaky on you, well, there has to be a reason, you know, and it's because that you weren't the leader that they needed. You weren't someone they were comfortable communicating with. And it's probably based on how you reacted in the past. You know, you're tired, you're burnt out, you know, you're in a bad mood and you overreact to some small thing.
Yeah.
They're not going to come and fucking talk to you about something like this, but
yeah.
Awesome. Good
stuff.
Yeah,
if that's happened to you, my advice is continue focusing on what you're doing and doing it well and support them as best you can. You know, there's no point fostering ill feelings, you know.
100%.
Learn from it.
Or battle to the death, don't be a pussy. Anyway, next question is, what is the best way to make new members understand they should start at the basics, not intensity?
This is a question for me again.
Yeah, another question for you. We're going to this is seventh question.
Throwing things at me. I take advantage of the onboarding process. I think you've got such a unique opportunity during the onboarding process to educate, to create the members that you want. you know, to go, okay, I've got this time for them to learn good habits and to teach them what I want from them, you know. And in those early stages, I teach them, like, one of our main sayings in the gym, we say this most days: fitness is a lifelong journey. So all our members know that saying. So they learned that when they came into our building. And so that's just instilled from the start, that we are not about rushing you into goals, like achieving goals within 8 weeks. We're about you doing this for a lifetime, you know. So so that's one way we do it, is just instilling it very early on in the onboarding. And then just also living by example, like leading by example. And actually, if you're on a class, scaling, you know, if you know that you shouldn't be doing that weight or that movement, leading by example and scaling. All our coaches scale from time to time, and members see that and they follow suit. So
100%.
Yeah.
You know, your first point about respecting the journey is so important. And I can't imagine anyone listening to this and disagreeing with that, right? But it's easy to say. What kind of grinds my gears a little bit is, if you want members to respect their journey, you and your coaches and your programming and your culture has to respect that journey as well. You know, I lose my fucking mind when I look on Instagram and I see, like, oh, check out Rachel. She got her first muscle up in her 7th class. What the fuck? Yeah, exactly. You know, and she got her first shoulder surgery in her 8th class. Yeah. What are you doing? It's okay. You've seen the seminars. We talk about the onboarding process, and our particular onboarding process doesn't include Olympic weightlifting movements overtly. We do all of the gross motor skills, the primal movement patterns that build them, but we don't do the snatch or the push jerk or the push. We do push press, or the clean. And people get really fucking upset. It's the only real thing we admit, but people get upset about it, right? And people are shocked when I say it's okay if they don't do a snatch for the first 6 months, 3 months, 12 months, ever. You know, it's this crazy thing. I saw on Instagram the other day. You can get fit without snatches. I think it's an April Fool's joke, but you know, like, it's this idea that we have to push people into these things. Like, oh, cool, they got this thing that they're not ready for way before they're ready. That's not something to be proud about and put on Insta stories. That, you know, as a coach, you deserve a slap around the back of the head for that. So I agree 100%. We have to respect their journey, but we also have to create a culture within our coaching team of leading that. You know, of you know, no one does anything that you don't allow them to do or encourage them to do. You know, as coaches, that we are in control, and as a box owner, you are in control. So don't pretend like something happens within the 4 walls of your box, you know, magically, like you couldn't stop it. You know, you can stop fucking anything. Yeah. But you know, I 100% agree. You've got to set that example, and you've got to respect their journey. And the only way they'll respect their own journey is if you forcibly, if you have to, respect their journey as well.
Absolutely. And I think one of the biggest retention tools is the fact that we've got all these skills that they've got to master over a lifetime. And if we kind of push them into achieving those skills, you know, really quickly, then once they've achieved them, like, you know, it's much easier for them to lose motivation and find a new thing to do, because there's nothing that's exciting anymore. I can do it all, you know. I can do it all very poorly, but I can do it all. So, just trying to drag out those PBs and those achievements as far as you can, you know, so they achieve them safely and over a long time.
100%. 100%. All right, really quickly, we've got some seminars lined up, man. Ooh. I'm excited. Quick promo out of the way. We've got the, what do we got first? We've got the
Melbourne.
I should have written it down. Melbourne seminar on the 11th and 12th of May. That's limited to 35 people, so don't miss out on that. That's the only seminar we're doing in Australia between now and the middle of 2020. So unless you can wait over a year, get your ass to Melbourne, 11th and 12th. And then, I should have written this down, I'm so unprofessional, Wellington on, I believe, the 25th and 26th of May. Whatever that weekend is, 25th, 26th, or 26th, 27th. Super pro. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I do want to talk about is the other seminars we've got coming up. We don't have dates for these, but I'm excited. We've done a lot of traveling together. We've been to, you know, all the countries together, and it's so much fucking fun. So I want to talk about where we're going the rest of this year and what we're looking forward to, because it's going to be a killer trip. So first up, we're going to the UK. I'm not sure whether we'll go north or south, London or Manchester, but what are you looking forward to for the UK, man?
I want to go back to London, man. Our trip in London was a whirlwind last year, so I think we did like a 4-hour bus trip. You've been there multiple times, but it was my first time in London. I want to go back and experience the Big Ben, man. The Big Ben was all like construction around. I couldn't even see the Big Ben.
I think it's like I think it's wrapped up for like 6 years.
Okay.
Something.
Okay.
Well, I can show you photos.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I want to experience. I actually want to go out in the countryside and experience a bit more of what the UK, the raw, real UK is about.
100%.
Yeah.
I love London, man. I hate big cities. London has everything I hate in a city, but for some reason it has my heart. That place, man, I fucking love it. And then the north as well. Hopefully we do get up to Manchester, Liverpool area, because I do like the north a lot. I like the people in the north a lot. Very straight shooters. I enjoy it. Then we're going back to Amsterdam. Earlier this year I had to cancel Amsterdam because I ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks. Didn't die. Fun. Good. But we do have to go back, and I'm excited. Again, one of my top 3 cities in the world, man. We've been together before to Amsterdam. What are you looking forward to?
We did get a houseboat again. We stayed on a boat last time. It was amazing. The people, man, the people there are just so nice, just so proper. And I just love the way they do things. They just do things in an excellent manner. You know, all the boxes there are just so slick, and the operations are so nice. I actually really enjoy going around and seeing the gyms in the area and how they operate. And one of our, favourites, Unscared CrossFit's around there as well. So it's always nice to see the boys there. And yeah.
Yeah, the Dutch are they're this weird mix of and there's probably a bunch of Dutch people that are going to get so pissed that I say this, but it's this weird mix between kind of Scandinavian, the fun side of Scandinavia culture and German pragmaticism. Like they're very practical. You know how they feel because they'll tell you. And yeah, I love it. A lot of good friends in Amsterdam, and just a fucking fun town to be in the summer. I've been there a few times in the winter, and it's miserable as shit. Still beautiful, lovely people, but cold as hell. And that wind they get in Amsterdam in the winter, man, it's a killer. Next up, I think this is the one I'm the most excited about, Cape Town seminar.
Come on, man.
Back to the home country.
Back to Africa, bro. So good. I can't wait for this trip. It's going to be amazing. I haven't been to Cape Town in some time, 2011. Swimming with the sharks, seeing my fellow Afrikaners, and maybe going on safari. And just some more, maybe somewhere else in Africa. I think we probably venture out of the South African borders and go up a little bit.
100%, man. South Africa's another place that's got my heart. I feel like I have to go back every year for the rest of my life. I love it. I have such a good time. The people there are just such amazing, amazing people. And I haven't been to Cape Town before. This will be my 5th time to South Africa, but 4 times to Johannesburg, and I love Jozi. The chaos of the place is kind of addictive. Obviously, we've been to Soweto. I got to go into the townships before. It's amazing, but yeah, the other side of the country, Cape Town, I'm stoked for. Big hike up Tabletop Mountain, bunch of drone footage.
You're not hiking up Tabletop Mountain.
Yeah, well.
You'll die, bro.
Right, you heard it here first, guys. I'm hiking up Tabletop Mountain.
He's not.
And I'm going to beat Wykie.
I've gone down. I've gone down before. Gondola up. Come down, and that was okay. There's no way you're hiking up.
Well, you're going to go down again because I'm going to beat you up Tabletop Mountain.
You're going to start doing some form of fitness before we do that, though, don't you?
See, the problem is you've got fitness, but I got grit. You don't understand.
Okay.
It's probably not how you describe me, hey?
Grit?
Yeah. Nah. But more importantly, Cape Town, shark diving.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And people say you can't bring them home as pets, but I've not seen it written down as law. So... Yeah. Who knows?
Anything goes in Africa.
We'll see. And then maybe Mozambique, Tanzania for another safari. This is 3rd safari for me, and it is the best thing I've ever done. If you've never been on safari, if you only ever do one travel trip ever in your life, do a safari.
Agree.
It's insane. I turn into a 10-year-old kid. I break the peace and quiet with the sound of the shutter on my camera. I think last time we were there for, 4 days? I took 9,500 shots, and I'll take more this time. So definitely Cape Town, definitely just Africa in general, man. And then lastly, I'm excited about this again. We're going back to Mexico.
Come on, I've never been.
Man, I've been once. I had an amazing time over there. I had some very kind box owners who put me up for nearly a week, drove me around their country. It was just amazing. Some very kind of unique experiences in small towns where I was kind of left by myself for half a day. No one spoke English. I don't speak Spanish. So a lot of fun. But it's just a place where the people and the culture, and it's so different. In the UK or the US, I can forget I'm not in Australia. It's very comfortable, and that's nice. That's a fun part of traveling. But in Mexico, it's such active tourism. You're constantly having to problem solve. You're constantly having to do something, and the food, man.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. I can't wait, guys. So, look, if you're in the UK, if you're in Netherlands or that general Benelux area, if you're in South Africa, or if you're in Mexico or anywhere Central South America, we're coming to see you. And look, we don't just travel for business. We're there to have fun. So any suggestions, anything people think we should do,
please
hit us up. Let us know. All right. I want to talk about one more thing. We've got 5 more minutes left on record time here. One more thing, if I can open up my phone. Let's talk orgasms. I feel like we don't talk about orgasms enough on this show. In the history of this show, we've never talked about orgasms.
I think I've got to go now, Nah,
okay.
Let's do it.
Now, this is interesting because this kind of came to my attention the last few days, and I laughed and I thought it was a troll, and it turns out it's not. So a box owner posted in a box owners group the following: have a member who experiences orgasms while they do snatches. Anyone else experience this? And I laughed and I thought, this is a troll post. It's silly, it's funny, it's juvenile, whatever. But so am I. So I reposted it and asked the question, legitimate or troll? And what I got was very interesting. What I got was a bunch of box owners letting me know that this is in fact legitimate. It's a condition or a series of conditions that can cause this, and giving me some examples of when this can happen. So sit-ups, knee raises, what else? Double unders, thrusters.
Pretty sure it said knee raises, etc.
Knee raises, etc. Yeah. So it's CrossFit, apparently, every movement. But yeah, apparently this is a condition or a series of conditions. There were a couple of causes because you got to research this stuff. And there were a couple of causes that can lead to this. So I'll be honest, I'm kind of pissed. I feel like I'm getting shortchanged on workouts now.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone who doesn't orgasm during a workout is not getting their money's worth. So what are your thoughts on this, buddy?
I don't have any. I honestly just thought it was a joke. I still guess that the person who posted that maybe made a joke, but there's obviously some truth behind some of the movements. I don't know, man. I've learned something new here today. I don't know.
There we go.
I've owned a gym for 8 years, coming up 8 years, and I don't think I've ever had anything like that happen in my gym. Maybe that's unaware. Maybe people are just quiet achievers. Quiet achievers. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about it.
I love it. I don't know what to think about it either, but I'm stoked that I know something that I didn't know. There's always those awkward moments you got to have with a member, like you got a smelly member and you got to tell them to wear BO because it's upsetting other members and stuff. That's got to be number one in conversations you've got to have. But very interesting. Anyway. We're out of time. We can only record 30 minutes for now. But there you go, guys. That's the first ever official episode of VIVE Group's podcast. We need a name for this podcast, so if you've got any thoughts,
give us some ideas.
Let us know. If there's anything you want us to talk about, please let us know. Anyone you want us to interview, anyone that you really want their opinion on anything, not too serious, ideally, let us know. And besides that, guys, thank you so much for listening or watching. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, folks.
See you guys. Thanks, Tye.